Okay, so now we have our robot that we've named Hero. He's our hero. We have him on a layer here. Then let's just, all right, that's the robot layer. And we're going to create a new layer, and we're going to double click and call this one Actions. And this is where we're going to write all of our code. Okay, and so you're going to click right in here to this blank keyframe, and we're going to write some code to make this robot jump. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, we're going to go window actions, okay? And let me get this actions window over here so you can see it better. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to declare whether or not the robot is jumping. So we're going to say variable var jumping, and we're going to set it to false because he's not jumping when the game begins, okay? And if you push Control Enter, you'll see that the robot is right there in the middle of the screen. I'm going to close that. And now let's just say, let's write a new line of code real quick. If jumping, and you don't have to say like if jumping is true or not. If you write just if jumping, that tells the computer it's checking to see if jumping is true. And we're going to say, now his name is Hero, so we're going to say hero.y, and we're going to, the X and Y coordinate system, the Y coordinate system is upside down, meaning that the Y numbers get smaller as the objects go up and bigger as they get down. That's because they start the X and Y coordinate system from the top left corner. So the positive numbers go down when you're working in Animate. So we're going to say his Hero's Y gets minus by, let's just say 200. And so since jumping is false right now, he's not going to move up at all, right? But let's just set this to true temporarily. See what happens. Control test. I've been pushing Control Enter on my keyboard when I do it. And there he is. He's up higher. Okay, let's set it back to false. And let's make something look a little better than that. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, so let's just we'll change this a bit, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to say if he's jumping, we'll set this back to true, sorry. Set this back to true for a second. Okay, so if he's jumping, the hero's Y is going to be, what we want to do is we want to make him jump and then come back down, right? So we're going to create a new variable called jump speed, and we're going to set it equal to 20 to start, okay? And so we could now say if jumping, he's going to go up by jump speed, and it's only going to happen one time, so Control, test, and he just went up 20 pixels. It's hard to tell. If I change that back up to 200 and I did it, you'll see that he did move up 20. And it just, this line of code, when this game gets initiated, when the game starts up, it just reads this code one time, okay? So I'm gonna set this back down to 20. So we wanna make this read continually, okay? And so to do that, we're in Animate, you can write add event listener, and capitalization matters in this program, okay? So you gotta put the capitalization just like you see on screen here. And these are some built-in methods that Animate already has built in. So it has the ability to add an event listener. So basically, Animate's going to listen to a type of event, and the event is enter frame. So every time a frame occurs, which is 30 frames per second in our game, we're going to listen for this function. And we're going to call the function hero jump. Okay, just made that up, hero jump, and you can name your function whatever you want. And so what we're going to do is we're going to write this function now. We're going to say function, could actually delete this, function hero jump, and it's an event, and watch what happens. as soon as I typed this, this line popped up for me. If this line did not magically pop up for you, go ahead and type this exactly like that. Import flash.events event. So it's not built in to animate right away until you declare this, and then you are importing the ability for, well, Flash used to be Flash, the ability for Animate to now listen for events like this enter frame every single frame. Okay, so make sure you type this if it didn't magically appear for you. So function hero jump. Now, so every frame it's going to listen, and we're going to say if jumping, so if jumping is true, we're going to make the hero, his dot y coordinate is going to get minused by the jump speed. Okay, make sure you put a semicolon at the end, and let's see what happens. Control, test, and there he goes. He went flying off the screen. So you got to kind of develop a little logic when you're making games, and you know, you find out little tricks on how to do things, or you come up with your own pieces of code, and this will work if we say, if the jump speed, he keeps rising up by the jump speed. So to make him come back down, what we're going to do is we're going to make the jump speed value decrease. So it's going to get minused by 1 every frame. So once he's jumping, the jump speed is going to, his y coordinate is going to go up by the jump speed value, and then the jump speed value is going to keep changing. So when he gets to his peak, it's going to become a negative number, and it's going to come back down. Okay, because the jump speed, the variable is actually getting changed. Okay, it's getting changed every frame because of this function we just wrote. So when we go test, he goes up, and then he comes back down. Okay, and he's going to go back down on the bottom of the screen forever. And so when he gets, what we want to say is if jump speed, we could put an if statement within an if statement. So we say if jump speed is either less than or equal to 0. Let's just see what happens if we do this. We're going to say jumping is false. Okay, now you might think he's going to land right back where he started, but let's see. He's going to get up there, and he stays up there because the jump speed went 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, you know, it went all the way down to 0, and then he never got to the negatives because in our line of code we said if jump speed is less than or equal to 0, then jumping's false. So this this part of the function won't happen anymore. So we actually want to set it back to the opposite of what our original jump speed was, and we'll say negative 20. Okay, so he should go up and right back down. Okay, and so jumping is now false, and then we're going to prepare to be able to jump again. Right now, let's just say we say click a button to make him jump. Well, jump speed currently is at negative 20, so he would jump downwards, which would make sense. So we need to reset the jump speed back to 20 equals 20. Okay, so let's just have fun doing that first, and then in the next tutorial we'll make the jump actually turn true when we do an event like clicking or pushing the space bar or something like that. Okay, so go ahead and have fun creating your first hero jump function. Have fun.